there guys, this is Solid Shepard bringing you another video. And I've been sitting around all day thinking about what kind of video I wanted to make. And I've seen some of the comments in my recent Xbox Bethesda acquisition videos, and something has been coming to mind, and I feel like, you know, it'd be a really good video to make. The fanboyism in the gaming community. Whether it be PC Master Race gatekeepers, Sony Ponies, or Xbots. We need to stop this. People being like, yeah, PlayStation fans don't get to play Elder Scrolls 6, yeah! Why are you excited about that? Whether they can play the game or not, that doesn't affect you. Sony Ponies, I'm not forgetting about you either. Yeah, on the Marvel Avengers game, the Xbots don't get Spider-Man, or they don't get the Spider-Man games, they don't get God of War. All these great games, they don't get Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah! And then recently, when Sony games have been announced that they're going to come to PC so more people can play them, you've gotten mad about that. Why? Why does it bring you joy that other gamers don't get to play games that you consider great games? Shouldn't that excite you? Shouldn't that bring you excitement? You get to share this great game with other gamers? I don't get it. And if there are any PC gamers who, you know, laud a lot of the RTS and World of Warcraft and stuff, I mean, a lot of these PC-only games are not on console simply because they really wouldn't work on console. But you still shouldn't garner any joy because other gamers don't get to play a great game. And I know a lot of people would say, oh, well, why don't you just buy all the consoles? Well, that's expensive. It's not cheap. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not losing any sleep for the PlayStation fanboys if they're not able to play Elder Scrolls. Or they're not able to play next Fallout, next Doom. But it's not because I'm gatekeeping. It's not because I don't want you to be able to play the games. But it's because you've been doing the same exact thing that a lot of the Xbots are currently doing. You know why they're celebrating that you won't be able to play these games? It's because you've been celebrating for years now that they're not able to play the PlayStation exclusive games. You're getting a taste of your own medicine. And to the Xbox fanboys, I would ask you to not become the very thing that you used to hate. That don't become what you hated in the Sony Ponies. Really, okay, and here's a big problem with Xbox exclusives, right? A lot of the PC exclusives, and PlayStation exclusives, a lot of the PC exclusives, they are exclusive just because the way they're built from the ground up, they just can't work on console. World of Warcraft, there's just too many buttons that are required in that game. It'd be really hard to make that work on a controller or on console. A lot of RTSs, there's just, you got to be able to use a mouse and stuff. It'd just be really, I mean, you can make it work, but it'd be a very dumbed down version on consoles. It'd be basically like a whole nother game. What reason is there, other than corporate marketing, basically? Like, what actual legit, like, gameplay, schematics, what have you, what technological, legitimate reason is there that Halo couldn't run on a PlayStation 5? What reason is there that God of War couldn't run on an Xbox? There is none. The whole idea of console exclusives is anti-consumer and is anti-gamer. It's anti-gamer because it's preventing gamers from being able to play good games. And it's anti-consumer because it's basically saying you have a paywall behind these games. If you own a PlayStation, you either have to pay for Game Pass monthly or get yourself an Xbox in order to play the Xbox exclusive games. If you own an Xbox, you have to buy a PlayStation, soon a PlayStation 5, for all the games that are exclusive to it. That's a $500 paywall. And like any PC games, I can't think of any at the top of my head, but any PC games that do exist that there's not like any reason why they're PC exclusive, same thing. You have to get a PC that can handle the games in order to play them. It's a paywall. We shouldn't be celebrating that. Instead of being fanboys fighting for our plastic box that runs our games, we should be asking, why can't gamers play these games? Stop with the tribalism. The only thing, if you're an Xbox gamer and the person across from you is a PlayStation gamer, the only difference between you two as gamers is which plastic box you're playing it on. Which multi-billion-dollar corporation are you shilling for? That's the only difference. This is like politics, really. It's politics. It's tribalism. You're defending a corporation that couldn't care less if you died tomorrow. Instead of supporting each other, this community, the gaming community, we are supporting multi-million-dollar corporations to the death. Getting days-long arguments on the internet over this. I understand why companies do it. It's because they want to sell more consoles. I just wish we could live in a world where all the games are available on the platforms. And what sold the consoles was the consoles themselves, what the consoles could do, the power of the consoles, etc., etc. Features of the console itself, not the games that you play on it. So like I said, I understand why the corporations do it. I don't understand why we, as gamers, champion it. We shouldn't. We shouldn't do that. We should hold these corporations afire. Why can't my PlayStation brothers play Halo? Why can't my Xbox brothers play Horizon Zero Dawn or God of War, Demon Souls? Why? I want them to be able to enjoy this great game like I do, and I want to be able to enjoy the great games they've got over there. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know where's animosity from people who enjoy the same pastime. We're a part of the same culture. It's gamer culture. It's gaming culture. It's the gaming industry. We're a part of the same industry. The console wars ended a long time ago, guys. Stop. You're just being corporate shills at this point if you're a fanboy. I'm someone who grew up. My very first console I ever had myself was an original NES we got for cheap at a garage sale. Then the next one I ended up having was the PlayStation 1. Okay? Never had a Super Nintendo. And then eventually I ended up getting an N64. So I had a Nintendo 64 and a PlayStation 1. Next generation, the first one I got was the PlayStation 2. I eventually got an Xbox. And then the last one I got was a GameCube, but I had all three. Next generation after that, I didn't never really see a reason to get a PlayStation 3 until I got older, like I am now, and I decided to be a video game collector. So I only had an Xbox 360. That was the only console I had that generation. Never had a Wii. But this next generation, well, that's a lie. I had a Wii for like half a year when I was in the Navy, right after I got out of boot camp. I ended up losing it in one of my moves, though. So when the next generation came around, I never saw a reason to get an Xbox One. And really, I was against getting one simply because I didn't like the way that they were pushing DRM. So I got a PS4 Pro. I really enjoyed the PS4 Pro. But then this generation came around. The whole PlayStation 5 fiasco, them releasing before they were supposed to. I never really got it. I was asleep when a lot of these stores were dropping it, so I never had a chance. I'm gonna get one eventually, but I got an Xbox Series X. So I went from Xbox. I went from having both to Xbox to PlayStation back to Xbox, and eventually I'll have both. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have both again this generation. So I'm intimately involved with all three of them, with Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. I love all three. I don't understand how people think they gotta choose one, or one is better than the other. You're not a real gamer if you don't play on one or the other. I don't get it. We're all gamers. Who cares what you play it on? Stop hating each other. Stop defending exclusives. I mean, they're going to exist until we do something about it, until we make our voices heard to the corporations about it. And even then it might not go away, but we might as well try. But that being said, there's nothing wrong with being excited, happy, like, yes, this game I love, thankfully it's on my console. That makes me happy. But you shouldn't be sitting here going, haha, I'm better than you because you don't get to play this game that I love. What kind of psychotic person would think that? Why would you feel that way? Why would that bring you joy that someone else doesn't get to experience this thing that makes you happy and then be like, oh, well, go get an Xbox then? That's not an option for everybody. Not everyone has $1,000. One of the biggest arguments for console gaming is it's cheaper than PC gaming. If you're going to go and buy two $500 consoles, plus at least one game when you first buy it for each of them, that's $1,100. You might as well buy a decent gaming rig that would probably end up being more powerful than both of them. So that argument doesn't work. Stop hating each other. I know I'm kind of rambling here. This is just a chill Saturday video. But let's come together as the gaming community. Let's stop separating ourselves based off of what plastic box, or if you play on a PC metal box, off of what box, based off of what box you play video games on. And let's just make it a rule to stop celebrating because we get to enjoy something and someone else doesn't. That's a part of our community. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. As always, if you're liking my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, this has been Solid Shepard, and until next time, I should go.